been 3 weeks since I had surgery, and this is what it's looking like right now. Tomorrow's my post-op, and I'm supposed to be getting my stitches removed, and not only am I super excited, but I'm also kind of nervous about that. So I ended up getting what you would consider lollipop scars, where it's like around the areola of the nipples, and then it comes down and then up right under the breast. So definitely excited to see what everything looks like, but also very nervous because getting stitches removed always makes me a little nervous. Two, I'm also going to be getting the stitches from the side of my hips removed, and those were placed there because prior to this surgery, I had something called dog ears. After you have a tummy tuck, sometimes you get left with like extra skin on the side. After you have a tummy tuck, sometimes you get left with extra skin on the side, which are called dog ears, and so I had those removed and lipo during this round of surgery. So yeah, they're also going to be taking off the stitches from these sides right here. They're not that big, they're probably about this big, but these ones are the one I'm most nervous about. Let's see how that goes tomorrow. But the stitches on my breast are the ones that I'm more nervous about, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, today's the day I am going to have my stitches taken out, so I'm kind of nervous about that. Hopefully everything works out, and I'm able to shower my hair tonight all by my lonesome. Okay, yesterday was my appointment for my 3 weeks, which meant that I finally had my stitches removed. So I finally had the stitches around my areola and down my breast, underneath my breast, and then the two on the side where I had the dog ears, which were part of my first surgery back in 2021, during the time that I had a tummy tuck. How was the scar removal process? Well, other than the fact that it wasn't like other than the fact that it isn't really like the most comfortable thing, I cannot compare it to it really being that bad. Other than the fact that it obviously isn't like super comfortable because they're taking each stitch off one by one. I didn't really have any issues in this particular area. I think it was specifically on the side of my hips where some of them like kind of got in, a little intertwined with my skin. So that hurt quite a bit. On a scale of 1 to 10 as the most painful thing I've ever experienced, no. If I had to rate it between a 1 and a 10, I'd probably give it like a solid 5, only because there were some stitches that were kind of like intertwined with like my skin. And so when they had to remove some of those, it did hurt. It did hurt. However, if I had to say what is the most painful thing about this specific journey, it has not been the removal of the stitches. It has by far been the massages that I have received on my arm due to lipo. That, if I had to choose, if I had to tell you what was the most painful thing about this whole process, it was the arm lipo. I mean, if I had to give it a number between 1 and 10 or rate it between 1 and 10, I'd give it a 9.5. Having massages on my lipo area behind my arms is one of the most painful things that I have ever had to deal with. And it is even like more painful than the drain removal during my first surgery, and that was painful. Like that is like one of those things that you're, oh my gosh, and just like the removal of your drain after a tummy tuck can be extremely painful. But for me, between the removal of the drain back in 2021 and the lipo and the massages that I got on my arms after lipo, yeah, I would say my arms. That was one of the most painful things that I have had to deal with. Even more than the breast lift, even like literally more than anything. This was the massages on the arm was one of the most painful things that I've dealt with by far. Two, my last massages were also yesterday. So at 3 weeks, we are officially done with massages and we are officially able to shower on our own. Things that I'm still not able to do, at least another 2 more months. Things I'm not allowed to do still are things like I'm still not allowed to lift anything heavy. So I'm still not allowed to put too much pressure on my arms, whether that be like me trying to do like, I don't know, tricep dips, or me trying to do pull-ups of any sort, or even like, what's it called? Any type of press workout, nothing like that. I still cannot do. I'm still very restricted to right down to just walking. I can do like a light jogging. I can go back to the gym like ellipticals, more of like a cardio based workout instead of like any actual lifting or pushing or anything like that. I cannot do at the moment. Yeah, for now, that is the update. It has been 21 days or roughly 3 weeks since I had my breast lift, liposuction, and fat transfer.